In this video, I'm going to talk about my top 10 solo RPGs of 2025. I have two goals for this video. The first is to give you some great games that I've had a lot of fun with in hopes that it will spark your curiosity or creativity so that you'll want to go play them too. And the second goal is to keep this snappy. I'm going to be going through these listings quickly so that you can get through the video, get done with it, have some fun ideas, and get going to play some solo RPGs yourself. So let's dive in. Number 10, my 10th most favorite experience in 2025 was Becky Annison's Wreck This Deck. If you haven't played, the idea is that you are summoning demons using a regular deck of cards. And the hook is that you're modifying the deck of cards as you play. In some cases, like in a way of thinking, the deck of cards becomes kind of like a journal because you're coloring things on it, you're ripping cards up, you're putting honey on cards and things like that. The reason it's number 10 is because the concept knocked it out of the park for me. I absolutely loved the idea of this game, but I think the execution fell a little flat. I think Becky Annison runs a Patreon where she puts out one game a month, and in that perspective, this game's awesome for 1 month worth of design and development, but I think it needed a little bit more time to bake, especially in terms of what you can do with the deck, a little bit of play testing and stuff like that. So that's why it's number 10. Check it out if you're interested. That is Becky Annison's Wreck This Deck. Number 9 is Star Drifter by Ken Kennedy. I did a review of this almost a year ago, and I think it's a very, very fun game. The reason it's number 9 is because it requires you to do a lot of the creative lifting. It's almost pure mechanics, which is interesting. You don't see that as often in indie RPGs these days. But I like it for that reason, and that's why it's number 9. Also, I believe when I did that video, it was maybe a gold seller, and it's already up to platinum on DriveThruRPG. It deserves to be higher than that, so check it out. I have links below. Number 8 is DCC Mercenaries. This is Dungeon Crawl Classics. This is a kind of a campaign I've been running for a while. Back in like 2016, I read The Black Company. It's about a group of black people who form a mercenary group in a fantasy setting. And the narrator is the person who's journaling the mercenary company's experiences as they go through this fantasy world. So I did the same thing with Dungeon Crawl Classics, created a mercenary company. I have a journaling component to it. It's kind of like Sandbox style, where I just kind of pick a module, come up with a story around why they're running this through this DCC module, and then I see who survives. It's very, very fun for me. I ran that a few times this year. That's my number 8. Number 7 is Freeing the Forbidden Lands. Now this one I only did a session 0 on. I did not get to session 1. But a few years ago, I ran a Forbidden Lands solo RPG campaign, and it was focused around spellcasters. What I found out was that spell casting in Forbidden Lands is not the main event. It's kind of the sideshow for that system. In other words, spell casting is not very fleshed out. So I accidentally summoned a demon, which basically ended the campaign. So what I did is I sat down, looked at what I wanted to explore more out of the system and its exploration and combat, and I got the idea that I would run an Elden Ring style game where my character is exploring the wilderness, trying to find these evil named characters within the setting and to kill them. The best part is that my character, once they die, they will respawn back at the previous roof that they slept under, since being under a roof had previously stopped the blood mist. And so I spent a lot of time building out the combat system, making sure I understood, picking and choosing the parts that I like. So I haven't actually played through this yet in a sense, but I did a session 0, I did a combat, and I'm excited to keep that one going. Number 6 is Fantasy Civ Solo. This is a 4X solo RPG where you have a fantasy civilization and you are exploring the wilderness, fighting monsters, and seeing your civilization grow or die. Full disclosure, I designed this game, so it's a little self-serving to put this in my top 10 list, but I really enjoyed designing this. It came out in July, and playing it, and I like it for 2 reasons. Number 1, I liked just sitting down and doing it because it builds a history of your civilization. There's a lot of customization around the types of troops you can build based on what you're finding. You know, if you find elephants, you can have elephant troops, and if you find tar pits, you can have troops that shoot flaming arrows, and you can combine them, so you have elephants with troops that shoot flaming arrows from the top of them. I think it's a lot of fun, but I also use it to develop background for a region in a role-playing game I'm playing. So if I need some background about what happened with the civilization in the past, I will play this game. This game will tell me what's happened in the region in the past to set up the current game I'm playing. Number 5 is Reclaiming Moria from the One Ring. This would absolutely be higher, but I've only done a session 0 and session 1 with it. I haven't gotten to more than that. Essentially, if you don't know, the One Ring is a game system by the Free League. It's based on Lord of the Rings, and they have this really awesome Strider mode included in it, which is a solo art, which allows you to play solo. However, there's an additional book called Moria, The Mines of Durin, I think, and it allows you to explore. It has like a full campaign set up for exploring Moria in a solo campaign with Balin, the dwarf from The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. At least he was mentioned in The Lord of the Rings. And so, the Fellowship of the Ring, I should say. And so it's an incredibly awesome solo system, and I've only gotten to do a session 0. I created my character, and a session 1 I ran through some combat, and basically got enough of the story started where now my dwarf has met Balin, and they're setting up to go into Moria together. I have not run more than that, otherwise this would be higher on my list. Number 4 is old school Dungeons and Dragons. I have a bunch of old school D&D modules over there on the shelf, and I will never get to play through all of them if I wait for somebody else to be the dungeon master for them. So what I did starting a long time ago is I started a project where I said, okay, I'm just going to play through these solo. Basically, I just roll up some old school D&D characters and I run through a module and see how far I get. It's a good way for me to basically read the module, learn about it, and also get to experience it in some way instead of just reading it on my own. I have a lot of fun doing that. Number 3 then is Traveller RPG Sandbox. Man, I love Traveller. Every time I talk about Traveller, people are in the comments saying, you need to do more Traveller stuff, and I'm hoping to. It's hard to fit everything in. When I play Traveller, I have a persistent sandbox setting where anything that happens within the Traveller game that I'm running, I keep on like a OneNote document. I have characters all over the Traveller universe. And basically, whenever I play, I'll either create a new character and come up with a new short campaign, or I'll just pick up an old character and come up with something for them to do for a few sessions. There's really no overarching goal or story. It's all kind of organic with how I play, and I have a lot of fun with it. So that's my number 3, Traveller RPG Sandbox. Number 2 is the Great Pendragon Campaign. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I love Pendragon, and I have a current playthrough of the Great Pendragon Campaign. I think I'm in year like 516 or 517, so I still have a long way to go, which is awesome. I'm taking my time because I don't want to rush this. I doubt I'll be going through the GPC solo again. So I'm taking my time, and I've started a video series, which I haven't added to in a while, maybe soon. And it kind of covers what's happening with my family, the Idmston family in Silchester. Silchester? Salisbury? I forget. One of those I am rivals with as far as regions go. Anyways, it's incredibly fun. It's an awesome way to play solo. I have a solo resource, like a workflow that you can check out. I'll link it below if you're interested in finding out how to play that solo. And that brings me to my number 1 solo RPG experience of 2025, and it is Call of Cthulhu's Alone Against Nyarlathotep by Lee Wade. This is a Call of Cthulhu system. I'd never played this system before, and I'm only halfway through the campaign, or the adventure, I guess you could say. So I'm not going to say too much about it. I'm hoping to do a full review once I'm done, but this is, at this point, halfway through the adventure, the best out-of-the-box solo RPG experience I've ever played. It is awesome. Basically, you're going through this adventure. It feels a little bit like a mystery game, a little bit like Clue or something like that, but with Cthulhu stuff happening all over. And it's a game book, but it's really more of a setting, because there are like choose your own adventure things where you read an entry, decide what to do, maybe make some rolls, and then go to the next entry. But there's also like you go to a house and it gives you every room in the house, and you get to choose where to go in the room. Or you go outside of the house and it gives you all these areas outside the house in the region that you're playing, and you can go to any of those. And so it's very, very fun. It feels more like a campaign adventure than it does like a choose your own adventure game book, but it's written in game book format, and it's incredibly fun. And so if you haven't checked that one out, please do. I have the links below. And that's it. I did it in under 10 minutes. I'm happy about that. Those are my top 10 solo RPG experiences in 2025. I hope you can take something from this video that has piqued your curiosity or gotten you interested, and you can then go and play it. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any more questions or want to see more videos about anything that I've listed in this video. And also, let me know what you enjoyed in 2025 as far as solo RPGs go. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.